What's up? It's me! I wanted to come on and share about fear cycles. And we'll kind of see how that expands itself. So, the greatest way that I have connected into the fear cycle very intimately and have been able to dissect it and comb that out in my life is by connecting to judgment, criticism, and expectation that I project that other people have on me. So, for example, if I'm concerned about what someone thinks about XYZ behavior, immediately I stop, take my breath, center, ground, recognize that that is so irrational, an irrational fear. I laugh at it, I take back its power, and I move on with myself. I let go and I move on. And I'm constantly doing this every time that comes up. And what I've found on the other side of this practice is this consistency of pushing the boundaries of my expression of who I am, how I show up. I've moved deeper into an embodiment of truly not worrying about the external world's perception of me. And in that space, there was a blossoming of a deep value of truth, authenticity, and integrity that just expressed itself in its nature. And it ties into meditation and the meditative mind because this practice requires awareness. It requires me to be so present in witnessing thoughts, patterns, behaviors, and energies that are flowing through me, that I'm able to feel the disharmony in the flow of existence, the flow of life. I'm able to catch it, do like a little course correction, accept it, and release it, and move on with myself. And I keep breaking deeper and deeper and deeper into spaces, so deep into the space where I actually feel it in my body now. It used to be very cerebral where like there would be a hesitation if I wanted to say something or post something, or I rewatch a video and I'm like, oh, I look like this, or I feel like this, and I'm like, I don't want to post that. I'm like, the moment I feel like I don't want to post something because I look or feel or do something like this, that could be perceived like this, is the moment I press send, is the moment I post, is the moment I let it go. Whether the content was valuable or not, the moment of me moving past my limiting beliefs and moving past my fear, that is what the contribution is to my growth. Just this value of putting it out there without the shame, guilt, or fear around what anyone thinks or feels about me. And it's left me in a more subtler space of my existence. And every single moment is really new. Every moment of my expression is fluid and changes with the energy that's being flooded, and flowing through. And how that connects into the meditative mind and the witness as well is that from the seat of consciousness, from my witness, I'm watching my ego identity and my expression change time and time again. And I have to surrender my control over the ego identity, controlling the ego identity's future, controlling the ego identity's present, and just allowing the ego identity to exist, to be seen, and to gracefully move through karma. And it takes a lot of non-attachment to do that. And it brings up all of the places where I have attachments. Attachments to the fear cycle. attachments to the shame cycle. And those get a really bad rap, but actually they're very beautiful cycles, because those cycles are given to us as a gift to give us the exact moment of disharmony in our energetic being for us to recognize, liberate, and free ourselves. Free ourselves every single moment, over and over and over again. And that's what liberation feels like. That's what liberation is. And there's no pressure to do this either. There's no need to be rigid. There's no need to force it. It's very organic. And I find that it happens when the exact time is right. But there has to be this willingness to honestly and authentically face ourselves, face how we feel, who we are, and how we're interacting with the reality that we're interacting with. Recognizing the service that we are multiplanar, multidimensional, but that there is a service to this reality as well, and that all of the realities are intertwined and connect to each other. So also in this process of facing our fears, we have the call to meditate deeper, and to face ourselves, to face our discomfort, and to let that fear arise in us, that discomfort arise with us, and we watch it and we witness it, we soften into it. We embrace it and we let it go. And every time we move deeper into this, we're really building this new neural pathway that serves our highest state of consciousness. The seat of consciousness, the seat of awareness, being aware of awareness. Witnessing awareness, being. And we're able to exist in that space. A little bit deeper, a little bit longer. And recognizing that that space is always there, all the time, infinitely. And we dance with it. And we merge into it. Over and over and over again. The path to oneness, the path to God, with God, through God, from God, is God. And so, if you really care about liberation, if you're really looking to live your life to the fullest, are you really looking to live your life presently and to take life as it comes, not choosing one emotion over the other, one experience over the other, taking it all in, having space for all of it, really connecting in with the infinity of who we are as one, then I guarantee you that fear work is involved. And it is such a liberating work. It is such an amazing work. It is hard work. It is very bloody work. It's painful work. But when we witness that pain and not attach our expectations or our own suffering to that, and we're able to see ourselves through it, We flex the spiritual muscle that's gotten stronger. And we're making it, the energy, just a little bit closer, a little bit easier. More access, tapped straight into source. Like we're cleaning and burning the karma to deliver ourselves back in to oneness, into the womb of one. Yeah. So that's fear work. And I want to share, let me check in here. Yeah, I want to share intimately about the fear work that I did on my road trip. I did fear work around feeling safe in my body as a woman. And I was traveling alone, very spontaneously, with a bit of a plan, but more with intuition. And there were times when I would step into certain rest stop areas, gas stations, or when my car was parked, and other people would pass me, where there would be this clenching, the energy would close down, where I would feel the slightest tickle of fear that someone could harm me. Someone could hurt me, someone could kill me, someone could rape me, someone could kidnap me. And I really lived through disturbing scenarios. And if I was not present enough, my mind would get sucked into the energy of this fear of someone wanting to hurt me. And I had to do the work of affirming, I am safe in this body. I am secure. I am protected. I trust the divine timing of my life. I trust whatever comes next, I will handle it as it comes, and not play out energetic fantasies or illusions of what could happen, or try to prepare for the unknown. The best preparation for the unknown is just being present. And in that cycle of work, I was really able to relax a little bit deeper into myself. Like, okay, I'm okay. This is fine. And then as that energy passed, I came to the other side. I'm like, this is what courage is. This is what bravery is. This is what facing fear is. That's the very intricate detail of facing fear in the very subtle, intimate spaces inside of us where the energy gets stuck. And that's where I felt courageous. That's where I really connected in with my bravery. I'm like, this is the hard work, and I'm here for it. I'm going to face all of these fear, neuroses, illusions, and I'm going to create clearer, higher thought patterns, higher timelines, different neural pathways that are secure and safe and grounded, and not feeling like I need to escape reality, or that I can't handle it, or like the pressure's too much. I'm here, and I'm going to live it fully, in every intensity of the emotions and experiences that comes with. I'm here to live it fully. Another one was, again, fear of life. At a certain spot I was camping at, no signal. I had the window cracked a little bit, and I had fear that like a bear was gonna come and like break the window. And I would get again sucked into the energy, and I'm like, how would I handle that? And I was like, I think I'd be pretty calm. But then I was like, would I scream? Would I mace it? Would I try to talk to it? Like, how would this work? And I'm like, even doing that like fantasy play out of the conversation. That's feeding into the energy of fear, because it started with fear. And so anytime that started to happen, I started to get wrapped in a cycle, I'd stop it immediately, and I'm like, I'm letting this go. And I would let that storyline go. And it just over and over again, letting go of the most neurotic stories. The mind is so neurotic. And that's why meditation is so important. Because it allows us to connect with our neuroses and let it go. To let go of our social conditioning, human conditioning, ego conditioning. And to keep surrendering the ego identity. Keep surrendering everything we think we are and releasing it all and becoming nothing. And tools that really connected me to in this time, none of this is spontaneous. None of these are new teachings. Like, people have been doing this for forever. People just leave the light on for us to walk into the room, and then we can leave the light on for the next person. Change the light bulb. Change the light bulb. That's what it takes, kind of, as we like expand into the age. We change the light bulb, and there's a personal spin that each of us have with this content or with these experiences that can connect to a different web of strata of people that can use this energy and this content to help set them free. And honestly, that's all this is about. Free. Being free. There's got to be something up here about being free. When contemplating the nature of self, you are meditating. That is why it's the highest state. The root of being is awareness. That's freedom as well. I don't really know how that connects with all of this, but it's always divine. Yeah. So, the tools that helped me during this time, that helped like connect the dots of the work I was doing and really supported me, is The Untethered Soul by Michael A. Singer. This is a Bible to me. It just strikes all the right harmonious chords inside of me. That it's just elevating, and I think just the energetic composition of it and the way it has liberated other people and helped set them free, is that it carries that energy, and anyone who comes into contact with it in any way, even if it's just hearing this right now, gets to connect into that energy even deeper, into that liberation. So anyone who's liberating from this book, and you connecting with the book, you're liberating as well. It's just, all of this, it works. And the other thing was Ram Dass podcast, of course, and Maharaji. I feel them so deeply with me, and thank you, Ram Dass. Thank you, Be Here Now Network. That's medicine for me. It helps me so much, and it was another one that just liberates and elevates just by being in the presence of its content and being able to receive the energetic transmissions that are transmitted through it. And I feel like when Ram Dass died, literally the day after Ram Dass died, how I connected in was I felt his spirit like almost like explode cosmic grace and ecstasy onto the world. And I felt like I received, that everyone received it. But the way I received it just really made me a follower of Ram Dass, a friend of Ram Dass, a sibling of Ram Dass, and a student to Maharaji. I consider Maharaji one of my teachers, and I'm connecting deeper and deeper in with him. And just all of them, all of this story, all of this dream, all of this fantasy, all of this work, and I'm here for it. Yeah, so those are two really great tools that support this work. If you're diving really deep right now into this, because again, it's all on the same wave. Like, I'm not the only one going through this. Everyone's working through this in their own level, and it's important to share it. And so that gets into the fear of other people's judgments, criticisms, expectations. Share the work you're doing. Of course, share it authentically, but share the work you're doing, because chances are you're not the only one doing it, and we can collaborate with each other on this work. And the deeper we bring everything into the light and really keep illuminating these conversations, illuminating this work, and giving more people access to these spaces, the more service we are doing for oneness. And it really depersonalizes the mission. It is not about I getting free. It's about all of us getting free. Because we just keep doing this until we're all free. It's oneness. And that's really why I'm here. That's why we're all here. From my seat of consciousness and awareness. And I wanted to connect into as well the fear cycle around parents. That was another big one that I had to work through. I think I actually shared that already. Yeah, but clearly that one's very strongly on my mind. So while I was on my road trip, number one, I knew my parents would not be approving that I was traveling during this time with the travel restrictions. Number two, traveling by myself, the vulnerability of being a woman, being unprepared, thinking I don't have the right gear or whatever, just concerned for my safety, and it all comes from a really great place. And yeah, so there was just a lot of things going on before I had left, and I didn't share with my parents that I was going on this adventure because I wanted to, quote unquote, protect them. I wanted to protect them. I'm gonna back up. I wanted to protect myself. I didn't want to have to deal with the stress that I projected out onto them that they would give to me. But actually what I did was perpetuate a cycle of stress by not telling them before I went, telling them while I was on the road, stressing them, and then that stress came back on me, and the way I responded to that stress was created even more stress. So now it's like in this place of like tension. And but my work is like, this is all divine timing, and I have to accept this. I have to accept that this is how it is. And yeah, I had to work through the recognition that that cycle of stress and fear only existed because I let it exist. I'm the reason why it's existing. My karma is the reason why it's existing. And in order to break that pattern, I have to break the illusion in my idea of how I think things should be, how I think I should present something, or how I think people should respond. And so really it comes from, again, the place of 100% authenticity, integrity, and honesty. Being completely honest and not caring, really not caring what the response is on the other end anytime you share yourself or what you're doing. Friends, parents, siblings, neighbors, strangers, whatever. Not worrying about how you're received, but allowing an authentic expression to come up and recognizing that whatever it is you're receiving, that you can just neutrally have space for it to exist. So I'm not here to change my parents. I'm not here to save them. I'm not here to free them. I'm not here to do like I'm not here to direct their consciousness or create anything or try to help. I'm not trying to teach them. I'm not trying to do that. I'm just here to share myself. And the same thing with how I engage in this content of myself, of my platform, with everyone. I'm not here to teach you. I'm not here to guide you. I'm not here to free you. I'm not here to do anything. I'm not here to do anything but to express what authentically comes up. And what authentically comes up is that we're here to free each other. So yeah, that's kind of an underlying thing that exists for sure. So releasing the need to try to control how I share myself with my parents. And I'm building now, moving forward, the stability of just like, the moment I feel like they're just gonna disapprove of something that I'm doing, my plant medicine work, the way I live my life, the way I dress, the way I look, the way I talk, the way I share myself on social media, my pictures, my posts, whatever. Releasing, letting that go, and just like letting myself be, and that's very freeing. And there's a lot of work around that as well, because I have trauma, had trauma, letting it go, where my family, and I love you all dearly. If you are watching, thank you for watching this far. But just trauma of my family screenshotting my social media and sending it to my parents without engaging me in a conversation, and just kind of reporting on what I'm doing, their disapproval on what I'm doing or how I'm living my life. And this ties into a lot deeper of a conversation that I'll expand on later. But basically, I had this huge mistrust of social media because I felt like when I shared myself, I was constantly being watched and judged. And there was an expectation on my behaviors. And there was. But that only has as much power as I give it. And I choose not to give it any power. And that connects past family. That's just having social media followers in general. People only have as much power as you give them. People's judgments, their criticisms, their expectations of you only weigh as much as you let them weigh. And when we release that burden and we let it go, holy shit. My God. Our God. It's so liberating on the other end of that, because all of a sudden, the neuroses of what will so-and-so think? Oh my God, what if I do this? Those patterns start to fall away. And all of a sudden you're able to live your life from this place of like, I'm going to do this because I'm going to do this. Because we are going to do this, or because the ego identity is playing this out and I'm going to witness it, and this is in the flow. And all of a sudden, life comes into harmony. There is a natural, organic pleasure that comes with living from that place of freedom. And ego-induced anxieties start to comb themselves out. And when we face those spaces and we look at ourselves honestly, we're able to relate to them. Because we are them. We've been them. We've faced them. And our capacity for compassion, for love, for kindness, for radical acceptance, radical tolerance of ourselves and each other deepens. And that's love. That's love. And we stop projecting that shit on other people. We stop judging, criticizing, and having expectations on everyone and anyone around us. And all of a sudden, we connect deeper into that space of oneness. And that that saying that we're just mirrors of each other. We actually get to see that. We get to be that. We get to live that. We're just like, oh shit, that's just me with me. And instead of intellectualizing that, we get to feel that in our heart. And all of a sudden, there's more joy. There's more joy to life. There's more gentleness, there's more kindness, there's more play, there's more laughter, there's more love, there's more sex, there's more everything. There's more creativity. And that's really available for all of us. Like, this is not special. This is not brand new. This is not radical at all, although it might feel radical. This is right here, right now. This is here for you. Free yourself. Let's get free together. We're just freeing each other. Face your fears. Over and over and over again. And I'd like to open this up as a dialogue. For sure. I want to hear, please, I want to hear from you. Write a comment, send me a private message. If you know me personally, send me a text message. Drop me a voicemail. Handwrite me a letter. Please, share with me your fear and how you're overcoming it, or your process with the fear process, or how you've liberated yourself from fear. Or how you can use this tool to be centered in your divine presence. Medicine. Yes, thank you, Maharaji, Ramdas, Michael, Singer. Thank you, me. Thank you, you. Thank you, God. Thank you for the safety of that trip. There's one more story, actually, that I want to share. So one of the things that I did while I was on my road trip was I went skydiving. Impulsive. I was literally leaving Moab, Utah, and there was a billboard when I was coming in that said skydive Moab, and I laughed. I was like, I'm gonna skydive Moab. Anyways, I went skydiving, knowing how my parents feel about it. My dad was professionally skydived in the military, and had a skydiving accident that has left him. I want to I want to honor my father's privacy by not divulging details of all of that, but just that he has very strong feelings that, like, it's not worth it, it's not necessary to go skydiving. But of course, me being me, I, regardless of all of that, I knew that I needed to go skydiving, and I did, and it was so peaceful, it was so meditative, until we hit the ground. We had a very bad landing. And I got kind of hurt from the landing. But the fear that I'm facing now, it's so funny because the facing of the fear wasn't the skydiving. There was no fear involved. They kept asking me how I was, and I was like, I'm good. I'm ready. I've been wanting to do this for a long time. There was no screaming. There was no, like, oh, what? This is so new. It was straight peaceful. It was really beautiful. A space that I'm familiar with. And the process of all of this is the fear of now facing my parents and letting them know that I did that. And how to tell them. And should I tell them? Should I keep it a secret? I'm like, wait, no. The minute you feel like keeping something a secret, why? Because I'm trying to protect my ego identity. I'm trying to protect them. I'm trying to protect myself from an uncomfortable conversation, from the heat of a conversation. And it's like, I'll face that fear too. Let's go. So that's another thing that has to happen. Probably tomorrow. Kind of late right now. And yeah. So I'll share an update of what it's like. My intention is to share and to allow space for however they feel to be felt. And to let that energy pass through me. And not try to control the situation, not try to manipulate it, not trying to make it anything. To really just allow the conversation to be free, and for the adult daughter parent role karmically to just untie itself, let the energy untangle. And I feel like that's the start of some very beautiful work as well. Everything's a start, a middle, and an ending. It's another piece to some beautiful work. So I'll definitely share an update on how I navigated that space, if I was able to keep my center of awareness, or if it was still too energetically engaging that I got like really drawn in. So we'll see what happens. But thanks for listening. Again, contact me on your fear work, where you're at, and I really see a lot of these conversations being sources of inspiration for content that can continue to be developed. And we learn from each other. So this isn't just one experience, my experience, one and done. This goes deep. Like, we keep doing this. And to hear from each other and to be able to vibe on that wavelength, we can really do some really dimensional work that is also beyond this 3D identity. I love you all so much. Thank you. Thank you, and I love what this is evolving all into. If you never watched one of my beginning videos, I really wanted it to be like channeling, like psychic energy, like really allowing the Pleiades, the galaxy to come through and like a message to deliver. And I thought that's what I was practicing. And that's what I was trying to like, that's who I wanted to be. That's the platform that I wanted to deliver. And in that time, that was exactly right. No shame, no judgment, no criticism. I have so much love for it. I appreciate it. Because she did it. But I found that organically it has flown. It has flown. And now that I've skydived, I can use the word flown. It has flown into itself organically. Like, this is just dharmic sharing. I don't even know if we can call it dharmic sharing. So that's why there's so much discrepancies with some of these titles of, I don't know. No, I'm just making the content and letting go. No expectation, no judgment, no criticism. Over and over and over again, I live by that mantra. Okay. I love you. Thank you.